And I want to talk to you about that. So talk to me about the two kind of ways that you're fueling your new business bucket.
So the one way, which might actually surprise people, is we send direct mail flyers every month still.
Interesting.
10,000 condos.
Okay.
We have a big ass QR code that goes to a Calendly page, and I wake up in the morning and go, oh, I have a listing appointment today.
Interesting.
But I'm 4 years into it.
Okay.
It's not cheap. It took me about 4 years of my business to even be able to afford to do something like that. And I got lots of clients in these buildings too. So it's just like,
they see your face again, but still, I mean, you're sending it to 10,000. Is it how many times a month?
once a month.
Once a month. Okay. Okay.
And we're trying to be creative. Like the one we sent out recently said, like, no one cares about your condo.
Yeah.
As much as we do.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
We're trying to be creative.
For sure.
They're slightly taller. So when you get stuff in the mail, ours sticks out at the top. All
but
these little things.
you only know those because you know those kind of tactics because you've been doing it for 4 years.
Yep.
Somebody who's just going to get started, what they're looking for is like, how do I get my quick lead and how do I get a deal within the first month? Doesn't work like that.
That's a long-term strategy. And it's like they'll find you there because you've been hitting their building. Mm-hmm. And then they'll go look you up on Instagram. And then they'll find you on YouTube. And then check your Google reviews. So it's like you got to make sure if it's a 5-prong attack.
Right.
That's just one of them.
Well, you know, I've always called that kind of the guerrilla marketing,
Yep.
right? A tactic where you're hitting them up with everything in the kitchen sink and seeing what kind of sticks, right?
Sometimes I'll walk in, they have a stack of my postcards
Holy
on their
crap.
table. I'm like, I guess I got this one.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So we'll do anywhere from 15 to 20 condo listings a year from the farm.
Just the postcards.
Just the postcards.
Wow. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
And the second way.
YouTube.
Okay.
Massive.
So let's go right into the content kind of talk, right? Because you've done an amazing job in terms of the growth on your YouTube page. I personally, and I don't know what's right or what's wrong, it feels right to me, so I went down this path.
Yeah.
I like to be kind of on all the platforms all the time, as much as possible. Where you went really focused on YouTube, and there's something to the fact that the riches are in the niches. Okay, why YouTube, and what do you see? Like, how can someone who's going to get started, just got licensed a month ago, or maybe they're in their first couple of months, what's kind of some tactics for them?
Okay, so why YouTube to start there? Every realtor is on TikTok. Every realtor is on Instagram. Every realtor is on Facebook, or some do paid ads. How many realtors are making consistent content about their market that's educational on YouTube on a weekly basis? And the answer is very, very few.
Yeah.
So right away, you have less competition.
Well, we can even talk about that in Toronto. How many? Fucking like maybe 5 or 7? Like really? Like you're saying 0? I actually don't think it's much at all.
People that I compete with an audience for.
Yeah.
A handful.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay. And I know you probably looked into this.
Yeah.
Okay,
maybe.
great. So there's some opportunity there for everybody who's watching or listening right now. Massive
Especially
white
if you work in a
space.
smaller market. I think it hurts me that I'm Toronto because it's so broad and I can't really hit into specific. If I just sold in one area,
Like, are you thinking like if you were just to go like into the micro of like King West or something?
I think if you made weekly videos on King West, like your
You would
favorite videos on
crush.
King West, what's going on with sales, and you just became that person, yeah, you crush it.
Especially if you brought in like, you know, the bakery at the corner of King and Strawn or some shit like that, right? Like, and really started to own that area. Okay, continue.
So I think consumers go to TikTok and Instagram to be entertained, and they go to YouTube to learn, because YouTube is Google. And people type things into Google because they want an answer. The hack used to be on YouTube just to get views is how to anything.
Right.
You'd blow up.
On YouTube.
On YouTube.
Okay.
You just do make how-to videos. You'd blow up.
For sure. And now that's changed a little bit.
It's changed a little bit.
Okay.
And TikTok's getting better as a search platform, and I'm not taking anything away from it. I'm only speaking about what I know.
Right.
So what I know is that I've been doing YouTube with a plan in place for about 18 months.
Okay.
We sold 27 properties last year from YouTube. 27. We had 84 Calendly appointments directly from YouTube. Sold 27 firm properties. We've already had 13 Calendly appointments this year and 4 sold.
Okay. So
just from YouTube.
And like getting into the micro of the strategy, you put up a video educating people on the market. I know that shit. Like, or is it tips and stuff? Like, what's the content that you're putting out there? Because the Calendly link everyone can do. You just throw that in the description.
In the description with a very casual call to action in the first 30 seconds.
Perfect. Okay, continue.
Okay, so essentially, the ideas for videos would be, I think about it like this, okay? Hollywood actor does the blockbuster movie to get paid their $20 million, and then they go do the 3 movies they actually care about, okay? Because they've got the finances figured out.
Yeah.
So I, right now, will do 2 videos that are headline based, okay? So 42% of all condos in Ontario are owned by investors. That is now the title of my video, because someone else whose job it is to write titles wrote that. That's my title. Okay. I will start the video saying, did you know that 41%? Comment below if this number surprised you. So initially they're engaging. Then I'll have my call to action. Thanks so much for being here. My name is Tom Storey. I run a team in Toronto. If you want to book a call with me, you can go into the first link in the description, book a buyer call, a seller call, or discovery call at a time that works for you.
Okay.
Boom. So that's done. Literally, then what I will do with these type of videos, these news headline videos, is I will share my screen. I'll talk about the news headline.
That's it. It's almost
No
like
script.
a green screen video that you can kind of do on Instagram or on TikTok
I'm a
as well.
talking head. That's
it.
all. I'm like, when you watch after a sports game and the people talk about the game, I'm just doing that for real estate headlines.
And that's what I love about that type of content, because the headlines are fed to you. Like, all you got to really do is Google real estate Toronto, click the news button underneath the search bar. I'm sure this is how you find it. Like, I'm not that smart, so I'm not trying to I want to give people the quickest hack, because that's how I learned. And if you just Google that, now you got all your headlines, whatever you're comfortable with in terms of commentating about. That's exactly what Tom's doing.
So that's one way you have to think about it, because those videos will get you views and they will get you subscribers, which will help you build authority over time that, hey, someone's actually watching this. I'm not the only person watching this person. But that does take time, right? Mm-hmm. Now, I put out a video about a month and a half ago called The Ultimate Condo Buyer's Guide. Mm-hmm. It's a 45-minute video with chapters at the bottom on everything you could ever want to know to buy a condo in 2023. It's just resale focused. Mm-hmm. And underperformed like crazy compared to my other videos. It's at like 3,500 views, which is still really good.
Right.
But, we're averaging 5,000 to 10,000 on the other ones.
Right.
6 people from that video alone have booked a call with me to buy a condo this year.
And that's what I love about that, because that's very similar to what we did is we call it the pre-construction masterclass. Yeah. Okay. Views wise, I have no idea off the top of my head, because the one thing that I kind of, the metric that I look at, how many people did we send that video to in our database before they were buying a pre-con?
Right. And
we based, like, they weren't allowed to move forward on a purchase unless they told us that they watched that whole thing. Why? Because we know if you didn't watch it, chances are you're going to pull out of a deal at some point. We probably last year in 2021, I think we ended up with 120 pre-cons. In 2022, I apologize. And I'm going to attest at least 70 of those deals, and Laura, call me out if I'm wrong, to that pre-construction masterclass, because we repurposed it. Yep. Right? It wasn't new business. It was just to feed the people in our database already.
And then on the other side, I had a video I put out that's at 50,000 views, which was basically just, I did live Global News Morning, and I took that footage and added me talking about it at the beginning. And just, it was like a throwaway video.
You commentated about your own video?
I didn't like watch it. I just said like, I met with Global. Here's what we talked about. Here's the clip.
Okay. That's an interesting take on it.
It was a throwaway video. I had nothing that week. I was like, well, I was on the news. Why don't I just talk about this?
Yeah.
50,000 views, no appointments. And the watch time is way down on that video, but it was like 2023 real estate outlook or something was the headline.
Right.
So you views don't matter. The ROI is appointments. Unless you just want to do it to become famous in your little niche.
So it's funny.
I'm doing it because I run a business.
So it's, man, like, we're really on the same page, and I think that's why our results kind of speak for like, we're very similar in terms of the fact that we're getting results, right? Yeah. And because we always talk to real estate agents about the fact that there's like building a personal brand as well as like becoming an influencer. And for us, and I don't know where we got this from, but we've kind of now, the way that we explain it is this, is that a personal brand is trying to monetize on a product or service that they have to offer, which is kind of like what I do and what you do, Tom. Where an influencer, generally speaking, is monetizing on someone else's product or service, right? Where, to your point that you're building a business, you're looking for like, how much business did I get out of this? Right? Not necessarily how the online vanity metrics of followers and views and likes. It's more like, fuck, did I get some shares, saves, and Calendly appointments? And then out of the Calendly appointments, how much did I actually sell? Which probably has more to do with your salesmanship than anything else.
But I could tell you, if I was getting 0 results at this point, I wouldn't be doing it anymore. I like it, but I don't like it to spend this much time on it with no results.
I don't probably say that, but I'm going to steal that one from you because it's so true. Like, I love this shit. Like, you can tell, like, I like when there's a live audience. I like the cameras. I like having I'm learning a lot from you and from so many of my other guests. But fuck, I'm not going to be as obsessed and spend the amount of money that I spend if I'm not getting it back some way, somehow. You know what I mean? And so would you attest, like, to somebody who's newer and is thinking about getting started, it's like, just fucking start. See what your niche is. It might be a podcast. It might be long form video. It might be short form video. Like, where would you tell people to get started and how?
There is a book called The YouTube Formula by Daryl Eves, I think his name is. And the foreword of the book is Mr. Beast in the foreword. And basically what he says is like, your first 100 videos are going to suck. Your first 10 are going to be really bad. Your next 10 are going to be not quite as bad, but still pretty bad. But then by video 101, you're going to look back and you've come a long way. But there's no one, Jazz, that I look at in our world that has like 8 videos posted. I'm like, oh yeah, that person.
Yeah.
No, it's the people that have been doing this for a while that, like, you know, I've got 300 and something videos on my channel. You've got probably thousands at this point. You know, like, it's the people that are putting in the work and the time, because it's not an overnight thing.
For sure. I mean, for everybody who's older, who, you know, the Mr. Beast reference is by far the biggest YouTuber on the planet. I don't think anybody is bigger than him. Like, that's not like a team. And so when he talks about your first 100 videos, I actually think, I used to say about 2 years. So like now I think my new thing is going to be, it's like 3 years. Like, for 3 years, just shut up and don't even look at your numbers. Don't do anything and just produce content. Know that you're going to be shit. Don't try to get a return yet. Like, don't think that you should be getting a return, but you have to be able to consistently do this for 3 years. Then you can start to see, because I think, like, you know, when you mentioned 18 months, You didn't do your first video in 18 months.
No, that was when I had a plan in place.
Exactly.
I was throwing shit at the wall for a while before that.
But that probably got you more comfortable with getting in front of the camera.
And like, so by the way, the podcast that I started, by the way, I had you on for the video course. You're like, Tom, why don't you just have a show called the Tom Storey Show? What the hell? I'm like, all right, fine.
What's your podcast called?
Yeah, Tom Storey Show. and we're now 7 months in. We're averaging 2,500 views on YouTube per episode. We're doing 600 downloads per episode. It's growing.
Yeah.
And so what I'm getting at here is, sound like I was just showing off there, but it was because you gave me the idea.
I know. I don't know.
Steve Karras, who's my co-host. Okay. I got him involved in YouTube maybe like 2 years ago. He just passed me in subscribers, that bastard, yesterday. We've been going back and forth.
Okay, well, everybody, if you guys have been going back and forth, everybody who's watching right now and listening, make sure you go follow Tom Storey's YouTube page. Is it Tom Storey, by the way, on YouTube?
Yeah,
okay, good.
But here's what's cool. Steve was doing 3 videos a week when he got really... So Steve's run a big team, 100 sales a year for a long time out in Surrey, BC.
Okay.
But his clientele was it was drying up on the repeat and referral a little bit. He's like, okay, I got to do something here. 3 videos a week on YouTube about his market. Boring. He would like review forms. Like, it was real boring. I can say that because, you know, we make fun of each other all the time.
Yeah.
Then he did one video that was called 35% of Canadians are going to go bankrupt. It was a headline that he stole. 220,000 views on that one video, 2,500 subscribers from that one video, and his channel took off.
Oh.
But he was throwing videos out for 6 to 8 months, 3 a week. And then one hit. And it's funny because it was a throwaway video. It was like, I don't know what to talk about today. Let's just...
It's funny how that works. Is sometimes that you just one of those that sometimes maybe even just sitting in your drafts. You're like, oh, let's just get this out. And the next thing you know,
and even recently,